Success isn't built overnight. It's forged in the quiet moments when no one is watching, in the risks we take when others hesitate, and in the belief we hold when no one else does. Janet Zuccarini, a self-made millionaire and a pioneer in women's entrepreneurship, knows this better than anyone. She built an empire of 12 successful restaurants, expanding her influence into Hollywood and beyond. But Janet's greatest lessons aren't just about business, they're about life. Her wisdom lingers, challenging the way we think about risk, failure, and success. And now she shares it with you. Janet sat at the corner table of her flagship restaurant, watching the hum of a busy dinner service unfold before her. The clinking of glasses, the low murmur of conversation, and the scent of fresh basil and truffle butter filled the air. 12 restaurants, a decade of hard work, and now she had built an empire. A young woman approached her table, hesitant but determined. "Ms. Zuccarini," she said, "I'm sorry to bother you, but I just had to ask, how did you do it? How did you take the risk to start this when so many people didn't believe in you?" Janet smiled, setting down her glass. "Sit," she said, motioning to the chair across from her. "Let me tell you a story." Lesson 1. Passion is everything. If you have a passion for something, if doing it makes you feel truly happy, that's the most important thing. Janet explained how she once thought success came from following a traditional path: school, university, a stable job. But none of those things made her feel alive. Passion is the fuel. When you love what you do, you don't count the hours. You don't give up when it gets hard. Passion makes you unstoppable. Lesson 2. Risk is an illusion. People told me I was crazy to open a restaurant. It's too risky, they said. But I asked myself, what's actually safe? A job where someone else controls my future? That felt risky to me. But building something of my own? That felt like control. Janet explained that fear and failure are two different things. Fear stops most people, but risk is just another word for opportunity. Every risk I took forced me to grow, and growth is the real goal. Lesson 3. When you have nothing to lose. When I started, I had no money, no investors, no track record. And I thought, if I fail, what do I actually lose? I was young, I had time, and if I lost everything, I could start over. The young woman hesitated. "You weren't afraid of failing?" Janet laughed. "Of course I was, but I knew that failing at something didn't mean I was a failure. It just meant I had to adjust and try again." Lesson 4. People won't trust you at first. That's normal. I walked into meetings with landlords and suppliers, and they didn't take me seriously. They saw a young woman with no restaurant experience and thought, she'll be out of business in a year. Investors refused to back me. Even my own family had doubts. She smiled. "And do you know what I told myself? Let them doubt me, because one day they'll wish they had believed in me sooner." If you wait for people to believe in you before you take action, you'll never start. Believe in yourself first, and the world will catch up later. Lesson 5. You can't make everyone happy. For years, I cared too much about what people thought. I wanted to be liked. I wanted approval, and it nearly drained me. Janet sighed. One day, I realized something that changed everything. No matter what you do, someone will always disapprove. So why not just do what makes you happy? The young woman exhaled. That makes so much sense. It does. And once I let go of the need for approval, I felt free, truly free. Lesson 6. Risk is just growth in disguise. Every big decision in my life felt risky, Janet admitted. Opening my first restaurant, expanding to new cities, even investing in new concepts. But I realized something. Whenever something felt risky, it usually meant I was about to grow. She looked the young woman in the eyes. So if you feel afraid, that's a good sign. It means you're stepping into something bigger than you've done before, and that's exactly where you need to be. Lesson 7. You can always start over. Janet leaned back, her expression softening. Here's what most people don't realize. You can always start over. No matter your age, no matter your failures, no matter how many times you've been knocked down. She smiled. I told myself when I was young, if I lose everything, I'll just rebuild. And now, after everything I've been through, I still believe the same thing. If I lost it all tomorrow, I'd start again. Because success isn't about what you have, it's about what you know how to build. The young woman exhaled. Wow, that's powerful. Janet nodded. So don't be afraid to take the risk. If you fail, you'll learn. And if you learn, you'll succeed. But staying still, playing it safe, that's the only real failure. Lesson 8. Don't rush. Build a strong foundation. People want success fast. They want shortcuts. They want instant results. But here's what they don't realize. Anything built too quickly is unstable. Janet leaned in. I didn't open 12 restaurants overnight. I built one, and I built it well. I made mistakes, fixed them, and learned everything I could before expanding. The key to long-term success is not speed. It's a strong foundation. She smiled. Slow progress is still progress. Build something that lasts, not something that just looks good in the moment. Lesson 9. The biggest mistake I ever made. Janet took a deep breath before continuing. The biggest mistake I ever made cost me $1 million. The young woman gasped. What happened? I didn't listen to my inner voice. I listened to other people instead. She shook her head. I had a gut feeling about a business decision, but everyone around me told me I was wrong, so I ignored my instincts. And guess what? I lost everything on that deal. She paused. That loss hurt, but it taught me something priceless. Your instincts are your greatest asset. No one knows your vision better than you. Listen to advice, but trust yourself above all. Lesson 10. Nobody really cares, so stop worrying. Janet leaned back and smiled. Let me leave you with one last thing. Nobody really cares about what you do as much as you think they do. So stop worrying about other people's opinions. The young woman frowned. What do you mean? Janet chuckled. People spend so much time afraid of what others will think of them, but the truth is, everyone is too busy thinking about themselves. They're not thinking about you. So live your life, take the risk, follow your dreams, and stop giving power to people who aren't even paying attention. The young woman exhaled, absorbing every word. So if I want to succeed, I just have to keep going? Janet smiled, raising her glass. Yes, but more than that, you have to believe. Believe in your work. Believe in yourself. And when the world tells you it's impossible, smile and say, watch me. As the young woman walked away, inspired and energized, Janet turned back to her dinner. Another lesson learned. Another life touched. After all, success isn't just about what you build. It's about how many others you lift along the way.